Good morning, good morning. I'm here, I'm on my living room floor. I have some coffee. And I wanted to chit chat with you today about meditation, surprise, and what the goals are, if it's possible to have a perfect meditation, and why specifically, whatever your meditation looks like, you're doing it right. So, first things first, is there a goal for meditation? A lot of people will say no, but I am a type A North Jersey gal and I say yes. The reason being is that when we meditate, we are making a conscious effort to move our brainwave state. So if you can imagine how a brain scan, an EEG, would be printed out, it would have all kinds of spikes and dips all over the place. That scan, when we entered a beta, with a B, beta brainwave state, would have peaks and valleys, highs and lows like the Rocky Mountains. Really, really big contrast, densely clustered. That is where we spend a lot of our waking time. This would be the brainwave state to solve a problem or be answering questions about your work, or even, playing in a soccer game or whatever your recreational hobbies might be that are on the more active side. When we meditate, we want to make it our goal, and the things that we choose to do during our meditation will support this. We want to make it a goal of moving from that beta state down into the alpha state. So if beta brainwave state would be similar to the Rocky Mountains, alpha brainwave state would be similar to like the Appalachian Mountains, where the peaks aren't quite so high, the valleys aren't quite so low, and they're really not as densely clustered. It's a different range, it's a smaller range. So even as we shift from one brainwave state to another, it's not a cessation of thoughts. It's taking the brain into a state that's more conducive to relaxation. So in this alpha state that many times we get to during the course of our meditation would be the same one that we get to if we spent 40 minutes painting, or if we went for a long leisurely walk around the neighborhood, or even, went to choir practice and were singing for however long we were singing. These are natural states for the brain to go into, but it doesn't mean that the brain has shut off entirely. If the brain shuts off entirely, it's not a good day for you. So if you're able to get your brain to a more creative place, to a more relaxed state, and your brain goes from looking like the Rocky Mountains to looking like the Appalachian Mountains, you have done a good job. That is what I would call successful meditation. Now, there is the element in meditation that we don't need to judge it. We won't always get those really good feeling meditations. Some of them are going to not feel so great and not really meet the need that we were hoping for. But it is a practice. And it doesn't mean that anything has gone wrong. There will seldom be a complete cessation of thoughts. So, what makes a successful meditation? One, that you showed up and you actually did it. Meditation doesn't need to be a long time. For most people, even getting solidly into the alpha state takes about 15 minutes. So if you're judging yourself or feeling harshly about your meditation practice, but you haven't passed the 15-minute threshold and you had expected to have fewer thoughts, that's okay. Most people wouldn't be able to get there in such a short time. There are certain tools on this page that I use myself for high anxiety. One of them is EFT tapping. A lot of the breath work also tends to take me down a lot more quickly because your brain needs to focus on something rather than just clearing it out. That would be a really advanced style of meditation. So if you are a little bit more anxiety prone. I call myself a neurotic northerner. I'm down in the deep south presently. I live in Louisiana, but I hail from North Jersey. So if you are someone who's more like me, that has a little trouble relaxing into that alpha state and to stop trying to make things happen, breath work would be a good place to start, where you're having to listen to instructions. Maybe there's a visual element that you need to also complete. EFT tapping is very tactile. You need to use your fingers, and putting your hands on your body is a good way to come into it. If we can leave the mental space and come into the body, things happen more slowly here. It's a good place to be for your meditation, even if your meditation is, let me see what sensations I can pick up. So, what happens when you meditate? We go from one brainwave state to another. What's a successful meditation? One that you do. And there is no wrong way to do it, because many of us that get into meditation have come here because we've exhausted all of the other options and nothing else seemed to work for us. Don't give up. It takes practice, just the way if a child came home from school and they were struggling with math class, you wouldn't throw the book out the window. You might just encourage them to continue to practice. It's the same thing for us. Our nervous system, that internal system of the body that kind of governs how we respond to stimuli around us, has one state that's really amped up, maybe you call it fight or flight, and one state that's really down-regulated and soft. We might call that rest and digest. This rest and digest state is one that the body gets kind of rusty with. So it actually does require a practice, because so much of our day has us amped up. Now, whether or not that's happening, I'm recording this video during the coronavirus that is being spread around the world, and so a lot of us are encouraged to stay indoors and to distance ourselves from other people. You might be having a very different experience and wanting to get into some of these softer things. Many of us are home from our jobs and maybe not working so many hours. So this is the right time to start to practice. And I can't speak on behalf of the future and what's coming down the pike. I happen to personally believe that things are going to shift and be quite different in the future as far as work hours and work commitments and the kind of prioritization we keep in our lives. But I don't know, and I certainly couldn't speak on everyone's behalf. But there's no time like the present, and meditation doesn't take very much time out of your day, even if you go for that 15-minute threshold. Even a couple minutes is going to give you more benefit than zero, and that's the truth. All right, friends, I love you so much. I love our time together. I love you. And I look forward to chit-chatting with you more. Clink. Until next time.